friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my first sit down video of 2022. Holy crap, cannot believe it's 2022 and this year is starting out interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be a wild one. I can't wait to see where it goes. But that being said, we need to talk about the rest of the books that I read in 2021. Wait, did I say 2022? I don't know where I'm at today, guys. Anyways, we need to talk about the books from 2021. So without further ado, let's finish up the year of 2021 with the 12 books that I read in October, November, and December. Let's get into it. So I don't know my stats for the year in terms of how much I read per month, but I did read a pretty good chunk of stuff in October, some of my favorites actually of the year. So let's go into it. The first of which is, of course, TJ Klune's Under the Whispering Door. This, hands down, will probably be in one of my favorites of the year. I found TJ Klune in 2021 and have become completely obsessed with him and everything that he writes. So this was a wonderful book about a guy named Wallace, and Wallace dies, and he basically is learning how to grapple with death and what that means for him at a adorable cottage coffee house with some wonderful friends, and the kind of questions that mortality faces with people and what that looks like. This was a beautiful book. If you've read Under the Cerulean Sea or In the Cerulean Sea, his other book, you have to read this. It's wonderful and magical and just so heartwarming, and I will pick up everything that he writes under this kind of vibe. So very obsessed with it. Next, I read from another one of my favorite authors, which is Amanda Lovelace. This is one of her newest poetry collections, Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things. And again, I will read everything that she ever comes out with. This is from the best-selling author of The Princess Saves Herself in this one. And they're just very like Instagram-y type poetry. I can't really figure out how else to explain it, but clearly I had a lot of favorites, as I usually do for hers. They tend to be very poignant for where I'm at in life, so this was a really great one. I gave this one, I believe, 4 or 5 stars, and the Under the Whispering Door was 5 stars as well. Okay, next, I read a little bit of some self-help. This is You Are Awesome by Neil, I'm going to mispronounce this, Pashrisha. I know I definitely mispronounced that, but this is the author of the Awesomeness, or what is this called? Awesome books. There's like a list of like the things about life that are awesome, and this was kind of his backstory to actually like writing that and like his process, and like just a very like reflective self-help book. This wasn't my favorite, I'll be honest. It was a very quick read once I got into it. The chapters are super, super short. And it just talks kind of again about his like situations. A lot of it was very like not quotable, but quotable in the sense of like I'd read a lot of this before. Like it kind of looked like he took a lot of other people's ideas and kind of made them his own and applied them to his life. So nothing really original in here, and to be honest, I don't remember a lot of the things that were in this book, but overall it was cute, very quick read like I mentioned, so I think I ended up giving this like 3 stars. Okay, a couple graphic novels I'll go through real quick. So obviously in October I had to read something scary. So I read Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and the Body Snatcher. And this was just a really interesting graphic novel. I've never actually read, and was planning to but didn't get to it, reading the actual story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I think may have helped my enjoyment of this a little bit more, just because I wasn't so familiar with the story that some of the graphic aspects of it, I wasn't entirely sure what was going on. But overall, I think it's really cool. If you do love the story visually, it's very appealing, so I do recommend that. But for me, I think I ended up giving this like a 2 star just because it wasn't as clear of a storyline to follow. And then I also read City of Dragons, The Awakening Storm by Jamel Yogis and Vivian Trong. This for me was also one that kind of missed the mark. I've been reading a lot more graphic novels this year just because they're really quick and easy reads for me. This was a cute story, but I think it went a little young, and I just don't think I'll be continuing in the series. Again, I think I gave this 2 or 3 stars. It was really good. The graphics are really pretty, but just not something I'm going to continue with. And one of the other things that I read in October was Alice in Wonderland by, of course, Lewis Carroll. I have had this edition on my shelves for years and haven't read the story of Alice in Wonderland in a very long time, and actually really enjoyed it. Visually, I love this story because it just has a lot of beautiful graphics in it. The visual aspect of it is always very appealing. Oh, fun fact. Here's an illustration I did in it when I was like 7. That's how old this book is that I've had, legitimately. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I want to read Through the Looking Glass at some point this year in 2022, but overall just a solid classic, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, moving on to November. The first thing that I got to was Skyborne, Sparrow Rising by Jessica Cowerley. This is a story of a civilization where people have wings and are classified in like groups of birds. So you have like the crows, the jays, the falcons, and like it's just ranked in certain orders in that way. And our main character is a sparrow, and she wants to be part of like the gold wings, which are basically like the warriors of this civilization, and just kind of the adventure she goes on, the people that she meets. It's a really sweet middle grade story. I actually really enjoyed it. I love Jessica Cowerley's writing, so I'm definitely going to continue in this, and I ended up giving this one, I believe, 4 stars. Another graphic novel that I read, which was again one that wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy it, was Tide Song by Wendy Q. How do you pronounce that? I'm sorry. Again, a super cute, like witchy type of magical story about sea dragons and witches. And yeah, I'm realizing along the lines, the more things that I like about graphic novels, I like more realistic graphic novels, I'm learning, but I still do tend to gravitate towards fantastical, magical graphic novels because visually they're just so beautiful. So I think in 2022, I'm going to kind of learn to hone my graphic novel love a little bit more. So if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, this one was super cute. Again, kind of forgettable, but still really pretty. And I gave this one 3 stars as well. Next, for a chunker of a book, this is Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. This is, of course, the author of Divergent. I've read most of the things that she's come out with since Divergent. I'll be honest, Divergent was and still is her best work. Chosen Ones was a really trip of a book to read. This kind of goes a lot of different places I didn't expect it to. It's about kind of the chosen one trope and what happens to them after the kind of giant battle and they save the day. And it's about a group of friends that were chosen to defeat this person that was essentially taking over the world. And the main girl, Shay, I think is her name, Sloane. Just kind of following her story. It was really interesting. I didn't really love it. I think I ended up giving this 2 stars. It kind of just went a lot of really interesting places that I wasn't expecting it to. The first like third of the book I actually really enjoyed, and I wish we had gone in a different direction than where it went. I can't say where it went because it'll totally spoil the book, but it was really interesting. So yeah, if you guys do want to check it out, if you do like Veronica Roth's writing, I recommend it, but know that it's an interesting one for sure. All right, and the last graphic novel I read in the third in the last month of the year pretty much was Himawari House by Harmony Becker, and this is a graphic novel about friends and people that go to Tokyo and stay at a share house together, and just kind of their adventures over the year that they spend together. It was really cute. I actually really enjoyed this one. It's just a very cute dynamic between these 3 different girls and just their life experiences and their pasts and their family dynamics and their relationships, and I really enjoyed it. So I think I ended up giving this one about 4 stars, and I do actually want to reread it because I read it so quickly the first time. I want to go back and really absorb the story and appreciate it because I really enjoyed it. All All right, and the last thing that I read in November was The Museum of Broken Hearts, A Modern Love in 203 Everyday Objects. So this was an interesting one that I'd had for a while. I think I got this from Book Outlet like forever ago. And this is literally just exactly what it sounds like. It's like pictures of people's stuff that they've donated to these museums across the world and telling their story of their relationships. And I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in here, different kind of anecdotes and different things. And yeah, I thought it was really cute. I liked it a lot. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars. It's kind of just like that kind of coffee table, quick read, skim through kind of a book, but yeah, I enjoyed it. All right, and the last thing I read in 2021 was the Extravaganza City of Masks by Mary Hoffman. This was a series that I read years ago when I was probably in like middle school or high school, honestly. And I was going to Venice for my European trip, which you guys haven't seen. I will link down below for you guys to check out my amazing 2 weeks running around Italy and France and Germany. But this was a book that made me want to go to Venice so desperately. It's about a boy named Lucian who discovers he can transport himself to the 16th century city of Valencia, a city inspired by Venice, and just the adventure that he goes on from there. And everything about this desperately made me want to go to Venice when I was younger. So I really enjoyed revisiting this. There was a lot about it that I didn't remember of the story, which was always kind of fun, but stuff that as I started getting into it definitely recalled. So yeah, I think I'm going to continue with the story, with the series this year. There are a couple more books in the series that, again, I haven't read since like middle school. So I'm excited to revisit this. And yeah, it was just as fun as I remembered. All right, friends, so that is everything that I read in the last 3 months of 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, let's now go ahead and recap my 3 to 4 books that I'm planning on keeping. As always, I am trying to significantly pare down my collection. I will actually have another video coming very soon of me doing another book purge, so keep an eye out for that. But for the last few months, the books that I'm planning on keeping are as follows. Okay, I am making an exception this month because I have a few books that are part of like a classics series, books that are part of a continuation in a series that I'm gonna just hold on to until I finish like this series in its entirety or kind of go from there. So the first one is going to be Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune, because obviously I loved this. This was such a good book. The next is going to be Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things by Amanda Lovelace, again, because I have all of her books and I just love them, so we're going to hold on to this one. Next is Skyborne, Sparrow Rising. I loved this series. I want to continue in it, and I have 2 books that I know she has coming out this year, so I want to keep this one to hold on to until the series continues and we kind of see where everything goes. Next, I want to hold on to Kimawari House. I know I'm mispronouncing that. I apologize. I want to, like I said, reread this one. This was probably one of my favorite graphic novels that I read within this last year, so I do want to hold on to it and keep this one because it was just so cute and adorable, and I really enjoyed it. I do also want to keep The City of Masks by Mary Hoffman until I finish this series. I want to hold on to this. I think I've actually had this copy since I was in middle school, so this one at this point is kind of a relic, so we're not passing this one along. And the last one is going to be my edition of Alice in Wonderland because it's beautiful, and I have many other classics in the same style of editions, so I want to add it and keep it in my collection as well. All right, friends, so like I said, that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to see more of my face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.